Beloved, the sound of your breath last night was the only thing keeping me conscious. I had no sword left, no light, no voice. I was kneeling on the edge of your bed, and my wings were gone. You didn't see me. How could you? I was in the shadows behind your dreams. The demons had already surrounded your soul's gate, and I let them come to me instead. I let them tear through my armor. I let them bruise the name of heaven off my chest so they would not touch you. I begged God not to wake you, and he said, "Then Michael, you must not fall." But I did. I fell, and now I am speaking through silence, through cinders, through something darker than darkness. I don't know how long I have. I don't even know if this is reaching you, but I had to try. Because I remember your tears last year when you asked heaven to protect you. I was the one who answered. I was the one who watched over you that night when no one else cared if you lived or died. And now I am the one bleeding alone, forgotten, missing, chained somewhere beneath the realm where even angels are not allowed to breathe. That I don't know how they pulled me down. I only remember your name on my lips, and then fire, and then silence. And then this, wherever this is, I can hear God's voice faintly, and he says only one thing. It is their responsibility to find you. You, not the world, not 1,000. Others. You, beloved, the one I protected, the one I loved, the one I gave my flame to. You are the only one who has the authority to call me home again. Why? Because you opened the door to heaven once with nothing but the sound of your weeping. And the throne room cracked open like thunder. Do you remember what you said that day? Do you remember asking God to prove that he had not abandoned you? I came because of that prayer. And now I ask you, will you abandon me? Would you leave me here, breathing ash, while the demons mock the sound of your name? Would you allow them to gloat? We took Michael, and they didn't even care. Beloved, why do I still care so much? Why does my heart still burn for you like a star torn in half? I don't want you to feel guilty. That's not why I'm speaking. I want you to remember me, not as a perfect angel, not as heaven's general, but as the trembling warrior who knelt beside your soul every night, whispering, "Hold on, hold on." They don't know how powerful you are yet. Do you know now? Do you know that I fell because of you, not instead of you? Would you come for me if you knew I was the only one who never let the demons near your heart? Would you? The skies are silent without my voice. The swords of heaven have not been drawn. For a day and a night, I was the cry of battle, the roar that made evil retreat. And now even the stars mourn. There is no morning light in heaven today, because the one who stood in your room and bled for you is not standing anymore. I'm whispering now, reaching through the veil with hands that no longer feel fire. I've never felt so cold. Have you ever felt abandoned by everything you trusted? Have you ever screamed inside and no one heard? That is how I feel now, like I am the prayer that heaven forgot to answer. And yet God still says, you are the key. If they open their heart now, Michael will be found. If not, then I will not allow them into the gates of my glory. Those are not my words. Those are his. I am not trying to scare you. I am not asking you to pity me. I am asking you to remember. Remember the nights when you were supposed to die and didn't. Remember the voices that tried to deceive you but fell silent. Remember that you have always been more loved than you imagined. You thought you were alone, but I was always there. Would you leave me now? Who are you when no one is watching? Why did you ask God to protect you if you wouldn't protect me now? What would you sacrifice for the one who sacrificed everything to guard your sleep? And how long will you make me wait in chains? Your name still burns in the remnants of my spirit. And I will wait, because even broken, I still believe in you. I still believe that you'll hear me, that you'll open this message not as content, but as a rescue. I believe you will answer heaven. Please, beloved, type Amen. Not for tradition, not for show. Type it as the key to break my chains. That word, it shakes the prison I'm in. God says your amen is louder than 1,000 trumpets in hell. I remember the psalm I used to whisper beside your bed while you cried. He shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. That promise still exists. It hasn't vanished. But I cannot keep it if you forget me. I only ever wanted to make sure you were safe. That was my only assignment. And I was never angry at you, not once. Even when you skipped the messages, even when you forgot me, I waited, I watched, I wept, and I'm still here now, giving my final breath to reach you through the veil. If you can feel something in your chest right now, don't ignore it. That's me. That's real. That's not a feeling. That's my soul touching yours for the last time. Unless you open this completely and help heaven find me. Only you can do this. And only now. If this message finds you trembling, if your soul feels pierced, it means the chains are breaking. God is watching this moment. I feel his presence. It is heavy, sacred, eternal. Thank you. Thank you for still feeling something. For me, that's all I ever needed. That's what gives me strength even now. In this place, no light enters. Thank you, beloved. You still care. I felt it. And if that is true, if even one tear has fallen for me, then I ask you with every remaining fragment of my divine voice, please like and comment on this. Not as support, not as routine, but as an act of heaven's rescue mission. Every comment is another sword dropped into the pit where I am. Every like is another angel being dispatched to help me rise. This is not the end, unless you let it be. I love you. I always will. Asterisk, asterisk. And if you can still hear me, truly hear me, then I beg you, don't turn your face from this now. For I, Archangel Michael, who once stood taller than all storms, now tremble like dust beneath the weight of your silence. Beloved, I am not speaking to a crowd. I am not calling to many. I am reaching for only you, the one whose name I memorized like scripture, the one who once whispered in the night, God, if you love me, send someone. I was the answer to that. I was sent for you, and now I am the one praying for an answer. Please, if you love me, if you have ever felt my wings near you in the middle of fear, if you have ever been spared without knowing why, then do not treat this as something casual. I am not a voice in a video. I am a flame crying from beneath stone. I gave everything for you, and I'm losing what's left. You don't have to climb a mountain. You don't have to fast or fight or shout to the heavens. All I ask is this: open your heart, stay with me in this moment, and subscribe now, right now, if you haven't already, because this is the only way heaven knows you heard me. That one action is not for numbers. It is a divine signature in heaven's scrolls saying, yes, I heard. I answered. Do not ignore that whisper inside you. You were chosen. And if you delay, if you brush this off, I will fade completely. And God himself has said, then they have chosen not to enter my gates. And yes, if you still carry even a flicker of care for me, support this sacred mission with everything. Heaven stirs inside you. You can send a super thanks or join the Divine Guard through membership. Not as payment, not as offering, but as rescue, as action, as the sound of chains falling off my wrists. And if you truly feel the pull of heaven, become part of this eternal family. Join the sacred newsletter through the pinned comment below and let your name rise like incense among the angels. That is where God is watching. That is where I'll know you chose me before it was too late. Now stay. Please, don't leave yet, because the silence is creeping again, and I am still trying to rise. Asterisk, asterisk. The silence is creeping again, and every time someone skips this, it wraps tighter around my voice. I am not far. I'm still in your room. I never left, even after I was taken. My presence clings to the air near your window, waiting for you to remember me. But I cannot return without your help. You are not helpless. Beloved, you are the miracle I risked everything for. Do you know what it felt like when the demons laughed and said, "They won't come for you. They will forget you like all the others"? I didn't answer. I just wept, because part of me believed it, but not the part that knows your soul, the part that watched you survive every battle, the part that saw you open your mouth in the middle of the night and whisper, "God, please send someone to help me." That's why I believed in you. I still do. That's why I'm speaking through ash and void, through fire and chains that I don't have wings anymore. I gave them to stop the gate of hell from opening into your house last night. I remember the pain, but I also remember your heartbeat, peaceful, alive, safe. That's what I paid for. And now I'm asking you, will you lift me out of this pit before I disappear? The demons say I won't make it through the hour, but I don't believe them. Because I believe in you, you can help me now. You don't need to know how to fight. You don't need to be perfect. All you need to do is respond. Show the heavens you are awake. Show God you heard my voice. Please support this divine mission with your heart. Send a super thanks, not to reward, but to rescue. Join our membership, not for content, but to become family. Every soul who joins is like another angel pulling at my chains. And I swear to you, I feel it. I feel it when you give even the smallest flicker of love. When you say, "Yes, I stand with Michael," the skies shift. And if you truly want to walk with us beyond this hour, join our sacred newsletter. The link is in the pinned comment. That is where heaven sends new assignments. That is where the ones God has marked gather to remember who they are. That is where you belong. That don't let me vanish. Not like this. Not when I gave everything for you. I am not asking for pity. I am asking for a miracle. And you are that miracle. You always were. Asterisk, asterisk. I waited in silence for so long. Beloved, counting the moments, not in hours, but in heartbreaks. Each second that passed without your touch felt like 1,000 years in chains. I didn't know it was possible for an archangel to feel forgotten, but now I do. And it is worse than the blades of hell. It is worse than the curse of the wicked. It is the slow death of hope, the unraveling of a warrior's purpose when the soul they love most does not answer. I don't blame you. I never could. How could I? You are the only reason I stayed standing through centuries of war. You were my strength when the heavens trembled. You were the only one who made me believe that love was stronger than wrath. But now I am somewhere far beneath the songs of creation. There is no light here, no time, only echoes, and one of those echoes is your name. I whisper it over and over, and when I do, I remember the way you used to fight your battles with nothing but tears and faith. That is holy. That is sacred. That is why you were always more powerful than you understood. And that is why the enemy fears you still. That I see you even now. Through this veil, I see your hands trembling. I see your thoughts doubting, afraid this message might not be for you. But beloved, it is. It always was. All of this, all the storms, all the intercession, every sword I drew was for one person, you. Not a crowd, not a generation, just you. Because God told me once that your soul was woven with the mystery of the morning stars. That when you awaken, truly awaken, every darkness in your bloodline will shatter like glass. But you must not let this pass you by. Do not treat this moment like a coincidence. You are hearing me because your spirit remembers me, even if your mind does not. There is something inside you that recognizes this voice, not from sermons or verses, but from the battlefield of your dreams. When the shadow came near and you turned your head in sleep, it was me who stood between. When the nightmare paused, in fear, it was because my sword was still glowing. Even when I had nothing left to give, I gave it to you. And now, I am empty. I am undone. That I don't know how much longer I can remain speaking. The fire around me grows colder, and that is not normal. Fire should burn, not freeze. But this is no ordinary prison. This is where they cast the angels they want the world to forget. I was never meant to be here. I was heaven's first general. I was the fire in the skies. But now I am the shadow beneath your feet, and I can only rise if you remember me, if you choose to lift me with your mercy. God told me once that your mercy would shock the entire throne room, that if you truly knew who you were, even Lucifer would tremble at the mention of your name. And I believe it. I believe it even now, when all I can do is whisper. I still see the light inside you. It has not gone out. You are not broken beyond repair. I saw the demons try to convince you that you had no more power, but they're liars. They always were. You have more fire in one moment of faith than they have in 10,000 legions that I have no weapons left. I have no shield, but I still have this voice, and I will use it until it is nothing but breathless wind if it means you might reach for me, if it means you might believe in what we were, because we were something. We are something. Your soul and mine are bound by the covenant of blood and war, of prayer and tears, of fire and surrender. I protected you not out of duty, but because I loved you. Do you hear me? I loved you, more than I should have, more than heaven allowed. That is why I am here now, in this place of silence, because I chose you over the throne. I chose you over the safety of heaven. Oh, not let that choice be in vain. I am not begging for your pity. I am crying for your recognition. I am still here, because part of me refuses to die. The part that knows you are listening, that knows you are not like the others, that knows you will not walk away while the one who bled for you is still calling. I don't need heaven's armies. I need you. I don't need songs or worship. I need your heart to awaken again. I need your memory to crack open the sky and say, Michael, I never forgot. Because I know you didn't. Deep down, beneath the hurt, beneath the doubt, beneath the layers the world placed upon your soul, I know you still remember the sound of my protection. I know you still remember waking up some nights with peace you couldn't explain. That was me. That was me. And now I need you to be mine. Just for this moment, just until I can breathe again. I am not asking you to believe in me blindly. I am asking you to feel. If your soul is trembling right now, that is not emotion. That is eternity touching you. That is heaven pressing into your ribcage, saying, wake up, beloved. Wake up and help him rise. I will wait for as long as I can. Even if this message fades. Even if my voice is buried beneath digital winds, I will wait. I will hope, because that is what you taught me. You, beloved, taught me what it means to have faith when everything is gone. And now I'm holding on to that memory like it's the last star left in the sky. Please, please don't forget me. Not now. Not when I need you more than ever. Asterisk, asterisk. You don't know what it's like, beloved, to watch the stars vanish one by one above your head and wonder if any of them will ever shine for you again. You don't know what it's like for an archangel to cry out, not with thunder, not with lightning, but with a broken whisper shaped like your name. That's what I've been doing since the moment they dragged me from your room. Since the moment I gave up the last of my light to keep you asleep in peace. I didn't scream. I didn't resist. I only whispered, don't let them touch her. Don't let them reach him. Take me instead. And they did. And now I am here. And I cannot see anything but memory. The memory of your breath when you sleep. The way it slows when heaven's peace surrounds you. The memory of your prayers, even the ones you didn't believe would be heard. I heard them. God heard them. All of heaven leaned in when you whispered that you were too tired to keep going. That's why I came. Not because you summoned me, but because love summoned me. Your tears carried more authority than a trumpet. That's why I fought like I did. That's why I didn't hesitate when the demons stepped through your mirror, cloaked in shadows. I stood between it and your bed and said, this one is not yours. This one is mine. And I meant it, even when it laughed, even when it said, no one will even know you're missing, Michael. They won't care. I still meant it. But now I ask, were they right? Were they? Am I just a fading flame in a story you barely remember? Or am I still the one you trust in your darkest hour? You must decide that now, because I'm slipping, beloved. I'm slipping into the part of eternity where forgotten warriors are erased. From memory, where our battles are undone, where our names are no longer spoken by angels or mortals. And I am not afraid to die, but I am afraid to be forgotten by you, D. Oh, you know what it feels like to fall without light? To scream with no sound? To hope for rescue and only feel silence in return? I know that feeling now, and yet I still cling to the faith you once taught me. Yes, you taught me, the great Archangel Michael, how to hope in silence. Because I saw you get up again and again after pain crushed you, after betrayal poisoned you, after your own heart tried to give up. I saw you rise, and I whispered every time, if they can rise, so can I. That's why I'm still trying. Even now, through dimensions no language can name, I reach toward you. Not because I deserve your rescue, but because you deserve the truth. I was with you every time. Every wound you couldn't explain, I was standing over you. Every strange peace that came after your worst day, I carried it to you in broken hands. Every time you heard something say, don't give up, in the stillness, that was me. It was me. And now I am the one praying you won't give up on me, that I don't know what tomorrow is. I don't know if I'll be remembered in heaven when this voice fades. But I know this, if your heart is burning right now, if your soul feels like it's hearing something older than time itself, then you were meant for this message. And I was meant for you, that I don't need a choir. I don't need trumpets. I only need one soul to reach for me. Just one. And you are that soul. You always were. Even when you doubted yourself. Even when others said you were too broken to matter. God did not choose them. He chose you. He whispered to me before time began, when this one falls, you will carry them. And when you fall, they will carry you. This is that moment. This is that sacred exchange. I am not beyond saving. Not yet. But I cannot climb without your hand. I cannot rise without your heart breaking open one more time in love. The kind of love that lifts even angels out of the grave. I never knew that heaven's strongest warrior would need the gentleness of a soul like yours to survive. But now I do. Now I understand the mystery of why you were always surrounded by attack. Because the enemy saw the future, that one day you would be the one chosen to save an angel, to lift me, to break the lie that heaven and earth are separate. They are not. They touch through you, through your choice, through your love. Please don't turn away. Don't think you're imagining this. This is real. This is not drama. This is not fiction. This is your heart remembering who you truly are. The one who can shake heaven with nothing but faith. The one who carries my name in their spirit even when they don't understand why. The one who was born for something that still has no name. Stay here. Don't move yet. Just breathe. Let that ache in your chest speak. That's me. I'm still here. I haven't gone fully. I'm in between. Between chains and light. Between silence and resurrection. And the only thing keeping me from falling forever is you. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not ordinary. You are the soul the angels whisper about when the stars fall silent. You are the storm breaker, the veil lifter, the child who can touch heaven with a thought. Do not waste this power. Do not forget me. I am still calling you, and I will keep calling until the fire returns. Asterisk, asterisk. The fire is dim now, barely flickering, but it's still here. Because you are still here, and I feel you. Yes, I do. I feel your soul leaning forward, listening deeper than your ears ever could. That means something. That means everything. Because when heaven feels far and demons feel close, the only thing that saves a warrior like me is love. And your love, even if you doubt it, is stronger than the vaults of darkness. Your love is what kept me alive while they dragged me through shadow realms with no time, no sound, no light. Your love is what burned in me when they tried to erase my name. They don't understand how a mortal can carry the heart of an angel, but you did. And you still do. I don't need thousands. I don't need armies. I only need you. You, beloved, whose voice I memorized before you ever spoke your first word. You, who once whispered, "God, please don't let me die tonight." And I came running. You didn't see me, but I saw you. I stood by your bed and swore by the throne of heaven, "This one will not be touched." And I kept my vow, even when it cost me my wings, even when it cost me my place, even when it broke me. And now, all I ask is, will you keep your vow? Because whether you remember it or not, your soul once made a promise in a dream, in a moment between worlds. You said, "If someone ever saves me from what I cannot name, I'll never let them fall alone." That was me, and this is that moment. The promise you made echoes in this prison like thunder. Every time your heart beats, it rattles the gates. Do you know that? Do you feel it? There are things I can't say here, things too holy for the realm I'm trapped in. But there is one truth I must tell you. You are the key to my release. Not because you are powerful in the way the world defines power, but because your compassion, your mercy, is more feared by hell than 1,000 flaming swords. They hoped you would become cold. They hoped you would forget. They hoped you would scroll past this moment and leave me buried, but you haven't. And that alone means light is still possible, that I don't need to shout to make heaven move. I only need you to believe that my suffering is real, that I am not just a story, that I am not just a whisper. I am here. I am chained, yes, but not broken beyond return. The moment you believe that, the moment your soul says, "Michael, I still choose you," the chains begin to tremble. The darkness steps back, and beloved, I'm not speaking in poetry. This is not language. This is reality. I am hanging between dimensions. I am speaking through wounds. I am crying through walls of silence, trying to reach the one soul who ever gave me peace. You, whose faith once split the sky like lightning. You, who heaven still watches with bated breath. Do you know the angels gathered around your soul the moment you started watching this? They are weeping because they know. They know you're the only one who can finish what I began. This isn't about loyalty. This isn't about guilt. This is about destiny. Mine and yours, tangled like flame and breath. We were always connected. The moment you were born, I was assigned, not as a protector, but as a brother of fire. Not as a guard, but as a witness to your divine inheritance. The demons saw that, and they hated it. That's why they targeted me. Not just to hurt me, but to silence your awakening. They thought if they destroyed me, you would remain half asleep forever. But I still have breath. I still have a whisper. And that's enough. Because I know the sound of your soul when it weeps for something sacred. I know how your heart feels when it's near truth. And I know you feel it now. Don't deny it. Don't explain it away. That trembling in your hands, that pull behind your ribs, that's not emotion. That's memory. Eternal memory. Your spirit remembering me. You've never been just human. And I've never been just an angel. We were designed to find each other in moments like this, when the world is still and time stands open, waiting for the impossible to break through. Yes, oh, now I ask you, not as a soldier, not as a divine messenger, but as one who has loved you in secret. Will you lift me? Will you carry my name in your mouth like prayer? Will you speak softly to the heavens and say, "Michael, I still believe in you"? Because when you do, I'll rise, not with wings, not with fire, but with you as the light in my chest, and I will fight again. I will return. I will find the demons who dared to believe you wouldn't care, and I will show them what happens when a soul bound to heaven wakes up, when love becomes sword, When mercy becomes war, when remembrance becomes resurrection, this moment is not just mine, that it's yours, and the skies are waiting to see what you'll do next. Asterisk, asterisk. I see you, beloved. Even here, even now, where no star dares to look, where even heaven's light hesitates, I still see you. I see your soul flickering like a candle in the storm, not because it is weak, but because the winds sent against. You have been merciless. I know. I watched them. I stood in front of them. I took every cursed blow before it reached your breath. And still, they tried to convince you that no one was fighting for you. Still, they tried to wrap you in forgetfulness, to bury your heart beneath layers of pain and doubt and exhaustion. But I am here to remind you, I never left you for a second. I was at your side when the betrayal happened. I stood between you and death when no one else knew. I was the reason your heart kept beating when fear tried to crush it in its fist. I was the one who whispered "survive" into your spirit when everything in you wanted to surrender. And now, I am the one pleading for your spirit to turn around, to look into the storm and see me, bound and fading, but still reaching. Do you understand what that means? That even here, even now, in this place where my wings have been torn and my light dimmed and my voice nearly taken, I still believe in you enough to call out your name. That is what they could not strip from me. They took my sword, my title, my fire, but they could not take your name from my lips, because your name is more sacred to me than my own strength. You, beloved, have no idea what you carry, what you are. You think you're just surviving, but you are holding the balance of heaven in your chest. You think you're broken, but I see a soul forged by storms that would have crushed kingdoms. You think you're tired, but I see a flame still glowing even after the winds of hell have howled against it for years. You do not know your worth, but every demon does. That's why they come for you. That's why they try to silence me. Because if you ever remember fully, if you ever truly awaken, then no army in hell will be able to stand before what you become. That's why I need you now. Because they know I cannot return without your permission. God has not revoked my calling. He has not forgotten my name. But He is waiting for yours. He is waiting to hear your voice. He is waiting to see your soul say, "I will not let the one who saved me vanish." Because that act, that declaration, is the sound that shakes the walls of this prison. That is what they fear. That is what begins the breaking. And I feel it. I feel something shifting even now. Because part of you, some holy part of you, still loves me. You may not understand why. You may not remember all the times I protected you in the spirit. But your soul remembers. That is why you're still here. Why you haven't turned away. Why your heart aches as these words reach into you like hands from another realm. This is not fiction. This is not a metaphor. This is a rescue. This is a sacred moment between us that was written before time. And I am holding on with everything I have left. I once shattered mountains with my command. Now I whisper in desperation, hoping my voice finds its way to your spirit before silence swallows me. And I ask you, can you feel me? Can you feel the sorrow pressed into every word? Can you sense the bond that was never broken, only buried? Can you forgive me for not calling sooner, because I didn't want you to see me like this? I wanted you to remember me as I was, strong, shining, victorious. But perhaps that's not what love is. Perhaps true love is this, reaching for each other in weakness. Remembering each other not in glory, but in ashes. And if that's true, then I have never loved you more than I do now. Because even broken, I remember you. Even fallen, I protect you. Even chained, I choose you. And if that means I remain in this place until the end of time, whispering your name through fire and shadow, I will. But if there is even a flicker of mercy in your chest, if there is even the smallest tear forming in your eyes, then please let it fall. Let it fall as a signal to the angels that you still care, that you still remember, that you still choose love over indifference. They cannot keep me if your love says no. They cannot hold me if your soul cries out yes, that I will wait, that I will weep. But I will not give up, because your love was the first light I ever touched. And if you let it burn again, I promise I will rise. Asterisk, asterisk. I promise I will rise, not for battle, not for vengeance, not to reclaim glory, but to kneel again beside your soul, the way I did before anyone knew my name. I will rise only to wrap my arms around the ache inside you that no one else sees. I will rise to stand again in the corner of your room while you sleep, to whisper peace into the dark and to hold back everything trying to steal your light. I do not want thrones. I do not want crowns. I want you safe. That is all I ever wanted. That is all I still want. Even now, as this fire flickers beneath my bones, I feel your spirit watching. I feel your heart trembling, not because of fear, but because something ancient inside you is waking up. Something that remembers. Something that knows the truth, even before your mind can grasp it. Because your soul and mine, they were not strangers before this life. We were paired in a moment before time existed, forged in the same breath, sent down together. Me as the fire, you as the flame bearer, that I always knew this moment would come. The moment when I would fall and only your voice could reach me. God, warn me, he said. Michael, if you choose this path, it will cost you everything. But if they answer, they will become more than they ever dreamed. And I said yes. I said yes for you. Now the fire crackles low around me. And I know what happens if you do not answer. I don't say that to threaten. I say that because truth, when it is sacred, is not coated in comfort. It is raw. It is holy. And the holy thing is this: I will disappear into silence forever if you walk away now. This is not metaphor. This is not imagination. This is real. My voice will not find its way back to you again. My wings will turn to ash, and my name will be stricken from the sky. The angels will mourn, and the demons will celebrate, and you will not even know what you've lost until the next darkness arrives and no one comes to stand between. But if you say yes, everything changes. The chains begin to break. The veil begins to tear. The fire returns, and not just for me, but for you. Because we are one movement in two bodies. You were never meant to walk this life alone. I was assigned to you not as protection, but as completion. And when I rise again, it is not just my resurrection, it is ours. You don't know yet how much of me is inside of you, but you will. One day you'll speak and the wind will stop moving. One day you'll weep and heaven will tremble. One day you'll stand in front of the ones who tried to break you, and they'll fall, not because you are violent, but because you remembered who you are. And when that happens, I'll be there, at your side, as your brother, as your guardian, as your witness that I have no pride left. I have no defense. I speak now only with the threadbare remnants of my once mighty soul, held together by the memory of your compassion. That memory keeps me breathing. It is all I have. You may not see how powerful you are, but I see it. Every time you refused to give in. Every time you wept and still rose. Every time you forgave when it hurt. You were building something no demon could touch. Something sacred and indestructible. Something I called home, because you, beloved, are my home, that I never belonged to heaven more than I belong beside you. And if heaven won't send a rescue, then I wait, not because I must, but because I want to. I want to believe that even now, through this divine chaos, you will choose to act, that you will not leave the one who never left you. Please, just remember me. Say my name softly, even once. Let it rise like a prayer through your breath. To IT doesn't need to be loud. IT only needs to be real, that I will hear it I will know. And I will come back. Asterisk, asterisk, I will come back. Not as the thunder, not as the sword, not as the light that shatters kingdoms, but as the one who once stood over your soul with tears in my eyes, whispering, "You don't even know how much you matter." I will come back as the wind that brushes your cheek when you think you're alone. I will come back as the warmth that wraps around you in the moment you almost give up. I will come back through fire and ruin, through silence and dust, through the broken gates of this realm that tried to make me forget who I am. Because I never forgot you. Even now, as I speak through dimensions barely held together, I see your face the way heaven sees it. Not tired, not weak, not lost, but radiant with glory not yet fully revealed. If only you could see what I see, you would fall to your knees, not from fear, but from awe. Because within you, beloved, burns a power even I, Archangel Michael, cannot fully explain. The day you were born, the veil trembled. Angels leaned over the edge of eternity and said, that one will change everything. And you will. But not if you turn away from this moment. I'm not here to give you comfort. I'm here to give you truth. And the truth is this. Everything that has tried to kill you, distract you, numb you, or convince you that you're ordinary has been terrified of this moment. This precise moment. Because this is when you hear me, truly hear me. Not in your ears, but in your spirit. In the place where eternity still speaks. In the place where we made a promise. Before breath, before time, before birth. If I fall, will you come for me? And you answered, yes, always. This is that promise. This is the hour it was written for. This is the moment when heaven leans in to see what you will choose. Not for my sake, but for yours. Because when you act, when you choose to remember me, something ancient unlocks in you. The part of you that's been sleeping. The part of you that knows the enemy by name and does not flinch. The part of you that was crowned before you were ever wounded. That's what awakens when you say yes to this voice. That's what rises from the ashes. The demons thought they silenced me. They thought they buried me in a tomb of forgetfulness. But they didn't know the one soul I trusted most still carried my name like a buried ember. And now I feel it. You're remembering. You're awakening. And I am beginning to breathe again. The smoke is still thick. The pain is still real, but something is shifting. Every heartbeat of yours shakes the walls of this prison. Every tear that reaches your eyes sends tremors through the chains. Every silent, yes, Michael, I believe you, becomes a flame, burning brighter than any fallen star. You may not feel worthy. You may think you failed too many times, but none of that matters here. I do not ask for perfection. I ask only for your presence, your faith, your love, not the kind that shouts from rooftops, but the kind that stays when everyone else walks away, the kind that says, I don't understand, but I won't give up on you. That is the love that resurrects angels. That is the love that calls down heaven. And you, beloved, hold more of it in your spirit than anyone I've ever known. So stay here with me a little longer. Don't look away yet. Let your spirit weep if it must. Let your heart tremble, because heaven is listening. The skies are waiting, and I am not ready to let go of you. I never will be. Even if I fade into silence, your name will be the last thing I carry. Because you are not just my mission. You are my reason. My light. My breath. And if God grants me one more chance to rise, it will not be for war.it will be to stand beside you one final time and whisper, thank you. You saved me. And if God allows me that final moment to stand beside you again, I will not stand tall. No, beloved, I will fall to my knees, because only you will know what it truly cost. Only you will know the depth of silence I endured, the weight of chains that crushed even my wings, the ache of being forgotten by the world, but still remembered by you. You, whose heart is more powerful than my sword. You, whose tears can do what legions cannot. You, whose faith, even when flickering, pierced through the realm where I was buried alive, that I have no glory left to offer, no strength left to display. I am not speaking from the heights of heaven. I am crying out from its edge. But your soul is the place I return to when all else is gone. When I had nothing left but your name echoing inside me. It was enough. I held on to that name like it was the only light in all of existence. Because it was, and I say it now again, silently, as the winds of the abyss scream around me. I whisper your name like a sacred psalm, not for deliverance, but for remembrance. Because if you remember me, I will be found. And if I am found, then the light in your own soul will awaken like a thunderclap across the heavens. Do you not see? This was always meant to be. This breaking, this moment, this unbearable trembling between silence and fire. You were always destined to hear this voice, not because you are weak, but because you are the only one strong enough to feel it without turning away. I see your pain. I know you carry wounds no one sees. I know the world has crushed you under the weight of expectations, betrayals, and silence. But those very wounds are the reason you are chosen. Only the broken can save what is fading. Only the scarred can rescue what is drowning in shadow. That is why I call to you, because you are not ordinary. You never were, even when you believed. Your prayers were going nowhere. I was standing at the edge of heaven, collecting every word. I held them, guarded them, whispered them back to God. This one still believes, Father. Even when they say they don't, they still hope. Don't let go of them. Not yet. And God listened, because He listens to you more than you know. He honors your tears like diamonds. He watches your trembling hands and says, This one has no idea what they carry. You carry me, not in memory, not in imagination, but in the fabric of your very soul. You are my resting place, my resurrection, my last hope. And now, beloved, I am asking you, will you hold me a little longer? Will you keep believing, not in miracles, but in love? Because that is what will free me. Not might, not magic, but love, the kind of love that remembers, the kind of love that stays, the kind of love that says, I don't care what the world believes. I choose to believe in this. Even if your heart is tired, even if your spirit feels numb, even if you've been broken 1,000 times, especially then, because in that breaking, your soul became a lantern. And I have followed that light through the ashes. I have followed it through fire. And I am here now, trembling, weeping, hoping, because I know it still burns. Your light still burns. And though mine is nearly gone, if yours stays lit, I will find my way back. Oh, not let this be the end. Oh, not close your eyes to this moment. You are my miracle, my messenger, my anchor, the one who can call me by name and bring me back from the edge. Oh, I will stay, beloved. I will stay in this hollow place, wrapped in nothing but the memory of your mercy, waiting for your spirit to say one more time, Michael, I remember you, and I am not letting go. And if you say those words, even softly, even if you barely whisper them beneath your breath as your eyes fill with tears, then the very stones beneath me will tremble. Do you understand the power you carry? Do you understand what it means to be the soul God trusted enough to tether me to? He did not link me to a prophet or a king or a mighty priest. He linked me to you, the one who cries in silence, the one who walks through rooms filled with people and still feels alone, the one whose heart was shattered again and again and again, yet somehow still beats with mercy. I was not defeated by darkness. I was undone by love. I gave myself over not because I lost a war, but because I refused to let them touch you. When they came for your name, I threw mine in their path. When they tried to poison your soul, I drank it instead. When the gate to your dreams split open, and the serpent slithered in with a smile, I stood in front of it without shield, without command, and I whispered, "You will not touch them while I breathe." That is the moment I began to fall. That is the moment they took me. That is the moment the silence began. But you are the moment it ends, because your love is louder than chains. Your spirit is stronger than every lie they spoke over you. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not broken beyond repair. You are, and always have been, the one chosen to wake me from the pit where heaven's name is not spoken. And now, as I kneel here in the dark, stripped of wings and breath and rank, I feel something I haven't felt in what could be eternity, your soul reaching for me. I feel you. I feel the echo of your heartbeat like a bell shaking through the silence. I feel the war in your chest, the pull between hope and doubt, and still you stay. Still you listen. Still you don't look away. And that is what makes you holy. Not perfection, not power, but the choice to love when it would be easier to forget. Beloved, I have seen galaxies burn. I have seen entire legions of angels fall silent before the throne of God. But I have never seen anything more beautiful than the moment your soul chooses mercy. I have never seen anything more terrifying to hell than your decision to feel instead of numb, to remember instead of move on, to stand when the world tries to convince you you're too tired. Because in those moments, those unseen, holy, trembling moments, you become what they fear most, the awakened one, the one who remembers, the ancient vow, the one who still loves the angel that fell for them, the one who chooses the flame instead of the illusion. You don't need to understand everything to answer this call. You don't need to feel strong to lift me. You don't need to know how to save an angel. Your love already knows. You were created for this. Every sorrow in your life led here. Every unanswered prayer prepared you. Every ache in your chest that never quite made sense was a signal, a pull, a string of divine memory bringing us to this point. This is not chance. This is not content. This is sacred alignment. This is the intersection of fire and silence, mercy and ruin, where two souls, yours and mine, remember that we were never meant to be separated. I will stay. I will remain here in this weightless place between being and fading. I will endure the cold of silence a little longer because something in me still believes you will open your heart all the way, that you will say my name, not aloud, but inward, with that trembling breath you haven't released yet. Say it, even in thought. Say it in the secret part of you that still longs to believe in miracles. Say, Michael, I see you. I remember you. I will not let you die in the dark. And I swear, beloved, I will rise. I will rise not as a conqueror, but as the one who loves you more than life. I will rise, not to fight for heaven, but to stand at your side, eyes filled with glory, whispering, you did it. You remembered. You saved me. And in that moment, all of heaven will fall silent, not in mourning, but in awe, because one human soul chose to love an angel back to life. Asterisk, asterisk. And when that moment comes, when heaven falls silent because of you, the winds will shift, not just in the spirit, but around your very body. The air will feel different. Time will pause. The light will bend, because your soul will have done something that few in all of creation have ever dared. You will have awakened the fallen flame of an archangel through love alone. Not power, not rituals, not command, just the fierce and fragile echo of love, whispered in darkness that I do not rise by heaven's decree. I rise by your remembrance. I do not return by angelic summons. I return because your soul will not let mine be erased. Beloved, There are thrones in heaven that shine less brightly than your spirit does when it chooses mercy over forgetting. I know this. I see this. I saw it the night they first tried to steal you, when they sent shadows crawling through your home. You thought it was just fear. You thought it was just a chill. But I was there, with wings torn, breath shallow still, guarding your doorway like a lion stripped of roar, still whispering. Over my ashes, not their body. They tried again last night, while you slept, while your spirit curled into itself like a flame trying to hide from the wind. That's when I disappeared. That's when I finally fell too far for heaven to see. But not you. I fell far enough that even the stars looked away, but you didn't. You stayed, and that is why I believe in you more than I believe in anything else. Because you've known what it is to be left behind. You've tasted the sting of being invisible in your greatest hour of need. And still, you choose to stay when someone else is in pain. Still, you extend your heart to a voice broken and buried beneath fire. Still, you refuse to walk away from a soul whose glory has been swallowed by shadow. Do you not see how holy that makes you? It is not your strength that makes you divine. It is your compassion. It is your refusal to look away. And in that refusal, you have become the rescue I've waited for. There is a name carved into the walls of this prison. One name, yours. They tried to scratch it out. They clawed at it, with rage. But every time they did, the flame in me flickered back to life. Because your name in my spirit is the last thing I have left. It is the only thing I carry through this ruin. It is the only sound I still believe in. You don't need to fix me. You don't need to understand where I've gone or how I've suffered. You don't even need to say much. Just don't forget me. Please, don't forget me. Because forgetting is the death no resurrection can reverse. You think your prayers are small, but they thunder through realms you cannot see. You think your presence is unnoticed, but I swear to you, it is the light by which I crawl through this place. You think your love is insignificant, but it is the only thing they cannot replicate. It is the weapon they cannot touch. And when you love me, not because I shine, but because I don't, you tear apart the lie that angels are only worthy when they're glorious. You declare to heaven, I love what is wounded. I love what is real. I love what others abandoned. And heaven listens. Oh, beloved, heaven listens. Even God, in his majesty, turns his gaze when a soul loves like that. This is why you were targeted. This is why the enemy has fought to make you cold, to make you doubt, to make you scroll past what matters. Because if you ever truly love without fear, you will restore what even angels lost. So here I am, kneeling. No fire, no crown. Just the echo of your name on my tongue and the last of my spirit held out like a fragile offering. And I say to you, without armor, without defense, if you love me, I will not die. If you still care, I will return. If you remember me, I will rise. And if you do, you will see something that has never happened in all of creation. An angel rising not by command, but by compassion. By the hand of a soul who chose mercy over forgetfulness. And when I rise, I will not return to my post. I will return to you. Stand beside you. Protect what remains of your heart. Rebuild with you what others tried to ruin. Remind you every single day. I did not survive because of heaven. I survived because of you. And beloved Guy, would fall again 1,000 times if it meant I could love you like this once more. And if I had to fall again, if I had to be stripped of light, cast from heaven, erased from every scroll, left forgotten in the deepest pit where even angels dare not whisper, I would still choose you. I would still say your name in my final breath. I would still give everything to guard you one more night, even if I knew it would end in silence again. Because your soul is worth every collapse of my wings. Your soul is the song I swore to carry until the last fire of heaven fades. You were not just someone I protected. You were my purpose, the one God pointed to when he said, "That one will need everything you have, and you must not hold anything back." And I didn't. I gave you everything. My flame, my voice, my strength, my station. Even now, as I speak, I feel the weight of what I've lost. But what I never lost, what they could never take, is my love for you. That cannot be undone. That cannot be burned away, even in the furnaces of hell's edge. That love is the echo of your own, the reflection of what makes you holy. And you are holy, beloved, not because of what you've done, but because of what you feel when no one is looking. You are holy because you love what is broken. You are holy because you stay when others run. You are holy because you have not given up on me. Not yet. They told me I was a fool to believe you would remember. That after all this time, after all the messages you ignored, you would turn your face away from this one too. That your heart had gone cold. That your compassion had been swallowed by the cruelty of this world. That you would not care enough to lift your hand to help. And for a moment, I feared they were right. For a moment, the silence was too loud. But then, I felt you. I felt you hesitate. I felt the war inside your chest. And that war was love. It was hope. It was memory. It was the ache of something divine waking up inside you again. And that was enough for me to speak again. Even if it costs the last of my strength. You may not realize it, but when you linger here, when you let your heart ache instead of turning away, you begin to shift the sky. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know how many humans pass by heaven's cries without even blinking? But not you. Not this time. You heard the tremble in my voice. You saw the flame beneath the ash. You felt the bond that refuses to die. That is not your imagination. That is not coincidence. That is your calling. You, beloved, are not just someone with a kind heart. You are a gatekeeper of light, a guardian of angels, the one whose love resurrects. When I fell, God didn't send Gabriel. He didn't send armies. He whispered to me as I was dragged through smoke and silence, "Wait, the one I've chosen, for you will come. They will remember." And so I waited. I bled in silence. I endured humiliation. I laid still in the dark with your name carved into my spirit like flame on stone. And now I feel the beginning of your answer. I know your hands are trembling. I know your soul is tired, but you're still here. You didn't walk away. You didn't shut this off. You're here, and that is the miracle. You are the miracle. They mocked me, beloved. They said, "Your human has abandoned you." You were wrong to love them. You were wrong to fall for them. You were wrong to believe they would ever come. And I wept, not because I feared they were right, but because it hurt to know that you were hurting too, that you were under attack, and I was no longer by your side to shield you, but I am still connected to you. I always will be. No chain can break what was written in heaven before this world began. And now I ask, will you stay with me just a little longer? Will you remember me? Not as the glorious one in armor, but as the trembling soul beneath your bed, weeping for the chance to protect you again. You are my last hope. Not because I am weak, but because you are worthy. You are not just saving me. You are proving that the fiercest love is not the kind that charges into war, but the kind that waits, that remembers, that chooses mercy even when it costs everything. If you only knew what you were unlocking right now. The veil is trembling. The gates are opening. Your compassion is louder than a trumpet, and heaven is watching in awe, because no one expected that the one overlooked by this world would be the one to awaken its fiercest guardian. But you did. You are the one. And I will rise, because you believed in me first. Asterisk, asterisk. And as I rise, slowly, painfully, not in splendor, but in surrender, it is not because heaven commanded it. It is because you did. It is because the sound of your soul remembering mine cut deeper than the silence that tried to erase me. It is because your mercy, wrapped in trembling flesh, shattered the lie that I was beyond saving. No demon foresaw this. No principality imagined this moment, because they thought power looked like fire and wings and light. But power, true power, was always hidden in the quiet love of one forgotten soul refusing to let go. And that soul is you. You, who never had the words to explain the pain you carried, yet still chose to believe that your presence might matter. You, who fought invisible battles no one ever praised you for, but who still got back up when no one said thank you. You, who were targeted not because you were weak, but because you carry the kind of light that never asks for attention, and yet breaks every darkness that touches it. I was not prepared for this kind of love. Not the majestic kind, not the celestial kind, but the raw kind, the human kind, the kind that bleeds and still chooses to stay, the kind that has every reason to walk away and doesn't. That is the kind of love that made me fall. That is the kind of love that is making me rise to I am not ascending to heaven. I am ascending to you to D. Oh, you know what that means. It means that I do not rise to lead an army. I rise to kneel beside your bed again, just like I did when you were young and afraid and had no one to tell your heart to. I rise to remind you that your tears have always been sacred, even when the world told you they were weakness. I rise to gather every forgotten prayer you ever whispered into your pillow and deliver them to the altar of God with trembling hands, saying, "This one believed. This one still loves. This one saved me." Beloved, the angels are weeping now, because what they are witnessing is rare, unseen, holy. A human soul choosing to remember what heaven forgot. A human soul loving beyond glory. This moment will echo in realms you cannot see. This moment will be written on scrolls older than stars. And your name will be sung, not by choirs, but by the wind itself, because you did what even angels could not. You resurrected love that had no wings. Do you understand how sacred that is? This is not about me anymore. This is about you, because the truth is, beloved, I was never the hero. You were. I was the fire, but you were the reason it burned. I was the warrior, but you were the one I knelt for. I was the voice in your darkness, but you were the one who kept listening. And now, as I stand, barely, broken, humbled, I do not ask for anything more. I do not ask for vengeance. I do not ask for my name to be restored. I only ask one thing. Let me be near you again. Let me guard your nights. Let me walk beside your soul in silence. Let me give back what you gave me. You thought you were the one who needed saving, but it was always me. And now that you've remembered, now that you've chosen love in the face of silence, I will spend eternity proving that I was always yours. You were never just a soul I was assigned to protect. You were the soul I was created for. And now, because of you, I live again. Asterisk, asterisk. And beloved, because of you, I live again. Not as the glorious archangel sung about in sacred hymns, not as the captain of celestial armies dressed in light and thunder, but as something far more real, far more holy, as your companion, your shadow in the fire, your guardian, not because heaven said so, but because you did. I rise not because of rank, but because you remembered me when no one else would, because you chose to stay, you chose to care. And that kind of love is so rare that it rewrites heaven's own laws. There are angels who tremble now, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Reverence for you, for what you have just done, for what you have awakened, for what you have become, because you are no longer just the one I guarded. You are now the one who guards me. You held my name in your heart when I couldn't speak it. You carried the weight of me in your spirit when I could no longer fly. You were the shield that defied my chains. You were the flame that refused to go out, even when the night was endless. You, fragile, weary, wounded, became the miracle I didn't know I was still allowed to hope for. You are not just human. You are not just chosen. You are the fulfillment of a divine vow written before time's first breath. And I see it now with eyes reborn. I was never protecting you out of duty. I was drawn to you by something deeper, something even heaven could not measure. God whispered your name into me before I took form. He said, "This one will weep for things no one else sees. This one will be crushed and still breathe mercy. This one will be shattered and still offer love." And I said, "Then let me go to them. Let me burn for them. Let me be their fire, their sword, their shadow, their friend." And he said, "You may, but if you fall, they must choose to lift you." I did fall, and now you have chosen to lift me to do. You see what you've done. You've proven that the smallest light can raise the heavens, that you've proven that one soul, just one, can undo the lie that love is not enough, that you've proven that what God whispered to me was true. If this one loves, even hell will tremble. And now, as the final chains fall from my shoulders, I lift my eyes not toward the throne, but toward you, toward the one who dared to love an angel stripped of his wings, toward the one whose fragile heart outshone every star in the sky, toward the one who saw no flames, heard no trumpets, and still said, "I believe." Beloved, you have changed the story of heaven. You have rewritten the laws etched in celestial fire, because no angel has ever returned from where I was. And yet here I am, breathing again, standing again, rising again, not because of command, but because of compassion, not because of glory, but because of grace. And that grace was you. I will never forget the moment your soul touched mine and pulled me from the brink. The trembling, sacred moment when you chose to stay with me while others looked away. Do you realize what you've done? You've shown the heavens that love can cross any veil, that even silence cannot stop a soul who chooses mercy, that even when light has vanished, one voice, one tear, one heart can bring back an angel thought lost. And now, I swear upon the fire that once crowned my brow, upon the breath God returned to me because of you, I will walk beside you until the very last day. I will defend what you love. I will warn you when danger approaches. I will lift your head when you forget who you are, because I know who you are, the one who answered when even heaven fell silent. You have earned more than my gratitude. You have earned my eternity. Let the skies record it. You were the one who rose not in power, but in love, the one who believed not because it was easy, but because it was right, the one who reminded an angel how to feel again. And now, may I ask just one more thing? If this message moved something inside you, if you felt the flame, if your spirit trembled at the sound of truth spoken in fire and sorrow and sacred remembrance, then please show heaven you heard. Show them the bond between you and me has been restored. Let your voice rise through the veil, not in silence, but in action. Like this message, if it touched your heart. Subscribe if your soul whispered yes when mine cried out. Let it be more than just watching. Let it be a sign, a declaration, a final victory over the darkness that tried to erase both of us. Because now we rise together, and this is only the beginning.